Rose, and tonight we're doing the Cookalong with me. So we're going to be doing a spicy lentil soup. Very healthy. In these times it's so cold that we want to have comfort food, but you want it also to be healthy, and this is what we're doing tonight. It's vegetarian, but of course you can add whatever protein you feel like adding, like a chicken, or even put some parmesan on top when it's finished, or feta cheese, whatever you prefer. So I'm gonna wait for everybody to connect, and in the meantime I will be speaking about the ingredients. So very simple. Here I've got my spices, and the spices are 2 teaspoons each of cumin, coriander and curry powder, and half a teaspoon of chili powder. Then we've got our garlic, and I don't know if you can see, but I've taken the germ out of the garlic, and those are 3 cloves of garlic. 1 onion, a couple of carrots, which I've sliced in 2 because I don't like my carrots to be too big in the soup. Some celery, coriander to sprinkle over it, and the spinach leaves as well for later. And in here we've got 1 tin of lentils and 1 tin of chickpeas, which I've rinsed and drained. And in this jug we have half a litre of stock, which it's actually a reconstituted stock, because I've used 1.5 what's it called, the cubes, sorry, 1.5 cubes with the 500 mils of water in this jug. And this is the jug that you're going to be, 5 of you are going to be winning at the end of the session, if you answer my question correctly. And these 5 names will just be chosen at random. And lastly, what I have here is 500 mils of tomatoes, chopped tomatoes in their juice. So basically, yeah, 2 tins of tomatoes, a little bit less. But if you like it more tomatoey, you can add a little bit more, or a little bit of tomato paste, whatever you prefer. So, are you ready to go?
Let's start.
Let's start? Okay. So first I'm going to be using my food processor, and I've taken all the bowls out, and I'm going to be using the main bowl. 2mm blade, which seems to be always my preferred slicing blade. So just putting it in, very easy, and closing the lid. Now any button on your machine will activate the screen. So we are in rinsing mode, but you'll see when I close the lid that it comes immediately onto the food processor mode. So it's a very intelligent machine. So putting through my vegetables, I think I'll cut this onion in a little bit more. So with the onion, all I'm doing is just popping it in. And then I'm not even putting the pusher in, because I want the reason I'm doing this is because I want it really, really fine. And if I keep on pushing, then of course it's going to give me a perfect 2mm, which I don't really want with the onion. So I'll just continue. Probably less than a second. So now with the rest of the vegetables, I want them to be nice and regular. So I'm going to actually jam the carrots in so that I get perfect slices. So the same with the rest of the vegetables. Seconds. Oops, I lost my support. this is what you get. So if you have a look here, the carrots are perfectly sliced, and so are the celery. Okay. So we're just going to remove the food processor and go on to cooking.
Sherry asked, where can you see which blade it is?
Oh, right. Well, let me get the blade for you. Here it is. And on the blade, you can see it's written the number of millimeters. So you get a 2 millimeter and a 4 millimeter blade. Interestingly, you know how sometimes food gets caught in between there. And if you just use your spatula that comes with a food processor, you're able to dislodge all that. Have a look. And there it is, all gone. So use your spatula. I love the spatula. I think its design is perfect for the food processor. Gets into every corner. It's amazing. I wonder, what have you guys been doing in lockdown? I know that I've been so busy. In fact, I've never been so busy. I'm constantly in the kitchen. I don't know. It seems to me like when you're home, you just get caught up in, you know, doing all the things that you haven't done for months, etc. And I'm constantly busy. So, what have you been doing in lockdown? And are you cooking along with me tonight? I know some of you are, because I've heard before that you'd be cooking along with me. And yeah, and where you're from. All these questions. And ask me questions about any recipe, not necessarily the recipe that we're doing, but we have to continue. So, in the stainless steel bowl, I'm going to place 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And I'm going to be setting my machine on 110 degrees. I'm going to choose the expert mode. And I have my universal tool in the machine. So no changing anything. Just putting everything together. Oh, I was talking about the spatula. That is so good. Have a look how it gets into every corner. It's perfectly adapts to the bowl. Alright, we're done. Now the lid, and you do not need the cap. I'm on expert. Oh, that was lucky. And then I'm going to be going for 4 minutes. So I'll have to highlight the time and go down to, the time, and I go down to 4 minutes. And the blade will go to 2A. And the temperature, 140 is too high, so we're going to go down to 110. So keep my finger on it, it's quicker. And let's go. So 2A, A is for alternate. So the blade is going to be rotating and then stopping, and then rotating and then stopping. Of course, it's not going to cut up my vegetables at all because it's only going to go for 4 minutes. So this is just softening the vegetables, not really cooking them, you know, at a high degree just to burn them and brown them. That's not what I'm after. I just want to soften them just a little bit. So there's a couple of things that I need to tell you. First of all, our bonus redemption with this machine has been extended to the 18th of July. Previously it was the 11th of July, but it's now the 18th of July. And the bonus that you get with the Cook Expert is the die stick that you can see here. So it has an extra blade, that's a 10mm blade. and this, you can see, to make your potato chips, etc. So that fits in a pusher of your food processor. Okay. When you get the dough blade, and the dough blade is for people who want to make bigger quantities of bread. You can go up to apparently, I wouldn't go more than a kilo of flour, really, but you can. It's just easier to do it a few times over because it takes so quick to make the dough. So that also has this, I mean, you can see the way it is. It's just also, quite convenient to mix in your food because it will not break up the food at all. It's just sort of gentle stirring. So for people who want to do slow cooking, this is, I think, a very good tool. And then again, we have the 2 recipe books that go with a bonus. So the one is just soups, and the other one is our new Best Bakery book that's specially conceived for the food processor. So I noticed in the last Cookalong that some people asked if they could see inside the books. So I'll just quickly show you. So this one, for example, the just soups. It's a beautiful book, really lovely, and it gives you plenty of ideas just to get out of the ordinary. Because I tend to make the same soup all the time. It's pumpkin soup and pumpkin soup. So yeah, it just gives you ideas. And also it's fantastic because you can make a few. It goes so quickly. If you use the soup program that you can cook and blend your soup in 30 minutes, you can literally make a few and just freeze them, and you just have them for whenever, you have unexpected guests or something. The Best Bakery book teaches you to actually bake with your food processor, which people, don't think about really. But I'm a baker, and I can tell you that I use my food processor a lot to do my baking. In fact, today, here it's just finished, so I'll tell you what I've made with my food processor today. So this was 4 minutes, and it's a beautiful color. Just have a look at that. Isn't that fantastic?
It smells beautiful.
So we just scrape it down, just quickly. I'll just put my spices in, just like that. And I'll stay on the same settings because all I'm going to do, actually no, I'll just put it, my blade to a continuous, so which is 3. So just add a little bit of time. Just a few seconds, that'll be enough, and all done. So now it's just mixing my spices in. Literally a few seconds, that's all you need. So we stop that, and we're done. All mixed in. Have a look. That's a fantastic job. Can you smell it?
I'm hungry.
You're hungry? Okay. All right, then we'll just add all our ingredients. Too easy. So we'll go with the tomato. Sorry, I should do it this way. Tomato, the lentils. How full the bowl is. And then lastly, the stock. Oops. There you go. So if you wanted to put less chickpeas, of course, just use half a can. What I forgot is my garlic. Doesn't matter, I'll just put it like that. But it'll just infuse it. So now we've got 6 to 8 minutes cooking the soup. So I'm just going to take the blade down to 0 because I don't really want to mush up my lentils. And then with the time we're going to go to about 6 minutes, 6 to 8. Oh, I'm already far too much. 6, let's do 8 minutes. Okay, and then the blade 0 and the temperature 110. This is perfect. Lentils and chickpeas are very high in iron, vegetable protein, and potassium, all the good things, and of course lots of fiber. Keep on dropping it.
Grace mentioned earlier that she's from Melbourne. They're not in lockdown at the moment, lucky them.
Yes.
But when she was busier than ever homeschooling the kids.
Homeschooling, yes. Well, yeah.
She also needs some therapy maybe after that.
Yes, well, lucky my kids have grown up, so yeah, don't have to do that anymore.
And Wendy's from Central Queensland, and she's spending a lot of time in the kitchen experimenting with all her kitchen gadgets.
So who has the cook expert, who has it already, and who's thinking of having it, and why are you hesitating? Which are your questions? I'd like to know.
Just very quickly, Charlotte asked what spices they were. She missed what was in them.
You missed. Okay. So 2 teaspoons each of cumin, coriander and curry powder, and half a teaspoon of chilli powder. So you can adjust that. Don't really adjust the spices, just the chilli, I think. Because this soup is perfect. I've made it before, and it's got each ingredient is necessary. So it's not doing much. If I want to give it a stir, all I do is take my blade up to 1/8, which I can show you now. And it'll give it a stir for me. And then I can stop the blade again. So, just stop it now, go back to 0. What I can do to speed up the cooking, of course, is place the cap on top.
Jenny from Central Victoria has lost all her books and is very sad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Where can she buy them?
She can buy them from the Magimix site. No problem.
There you go.
So people who purchase the cook expert from Magimix directly will get the bonus together with their machine. Whereas people who purchase the cook expert through stockists through the shops, okay, so they'll have to just send an email to Magimix, register their machine, and then it's just a $20 fee just for the postage and handling. And then they'll be receiving their bonuses as well. So while we wait for this, I can show you a few of the other books. For those people who have the spiralizer, this is a fabulous book. I love it. It's the vegetable and pasta book, specially made for the spiralizer. So you can have a lot of fun with that. Beautiful recipes. So we've tried them all, Vanessa and I. So I highly recommend this book if you have the spiralizer. This is for people who want to see inside the books. That's your spiralizer book. Then we'll go to the Just Simple cakes. Okay. little bit more involved, a little bit thicker. But then you have your breads, quiches, curries. Curry is something I do a lot, probably, well, we have curry about 3 times a week. It's just so easy in the Cook Expert. You just set and forget. Then we have salads, the meat section. Oh, here's a spicy lentil rice. I love lentils in winter. So what are you guys cooking in winter? So that's the simple plates. And this recipe book is the one that you get with your Cook Expert. And see my page. This is my page. This is what I do all the time. Rice pudding. It's very warming in winter. But if you look at the recipe, where it says 650 ml of milk, I recommend that you add another 150 ml of milk. For that, or you reduce the amount of rice, because otherwise it just tends to get a little bit thick. So this is one of my favorite recipes in the book. And a beautiful, the carrot cake, of course. And then there is a beautiful ginger ice cream. A little bit later. Where is it? Somewhere. For your breads, can you see, Karen? It's easier for me to hold like that. Breads. Desserts. This is the one I was looking for, the mango ginger ice cream, which is absolutely delicious and very healthy. It's got the frozen mango, the yogurt, a bit of sugar, not a lot, coconut milk and ginger. That's all. So this is to do in your frozen dessert menu. So there. That book will keep you busy. I've made this recipe as well, very successfully, and looks fantastic.
Oh God, doesn't it look fantastic?
Yeah, it looks great. And that is so quick to do in the food processor. Then we've got just desserts that I suppose everybody would love this book. It's just, who's going to eat all that? Huh?
Me. Oh wow, what's that?
Ice creams. Sure, this is not an ice cream machine though. Huh? What it'll do is it'll make your mixture and keep everything nice and cold and all that, but eventually you will have to put it in the freezer. So let's have a look how we're going. We've got 15 seconds. That was so quick. Now I'm going to be tasting that to see if it needs a little bit more cooking. But if you don't overcook the vegetables in your soup, you're able to taste each and every vegetable. So a carrot will taste like a carrot. It won't be like the soup with overcooked vegetables and everything tastes the same. No, it won't be like that at all. It will be very, very beautiful. You'll taste everything. So, sorry, but I need to taste this. I think it probably needs another couple of minutes, so we're going to do that. It's still crunchy, but I like it that way. So let's add another 2 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes, doesn't matter. Do you want me to show you what I made this afternoon?
Let's show.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Oh yes.
this afternoon in my food processor. So the pastry first, and that took also, it took about 5 seconds. Got all my ingredients in my food processor, just passed the flour in, the butter and the sugar, and then I made the base, put it in the fridge for an hour, and then I sliced my apples. Look how regular this is. Pretty good. Of course, there were some pieces that were not so regular. So what I did with that, I made a little apple compote just to have later on. It's a healthy dessert. And yes, and you just glaze it with a little bit of apricot jam that you warm up in the microwave. So
How long did that take to make?
to make, well, not long at all. What takes a long time is resting the pastry, really, an hour, and then cooking. But making it takes no time. So Karen, this is for you.
Thank you, Rosie.
Any other questions? I get no questions today because the recipe is so easy. There's nothing to it. But I welcome questions, about other recipes, any difficulty that you have, just let me know. There's also Vanessa, who's reading your comments and who's answering questions. So it's just, I can't see the screen, but she definitely can. So we've got 44 seconds, and I think I'll stop it right there. I'll get a plate to dish out.
Rosie, what model has the stir fry?
What model? Oh, no. This is one machine. The stir fry mode happens when you update your machine. So you need to go to the Magimix site, download the program, put it on a USB stick, and I'll show you later when we're finished, where to update your machine. So now I'm happy with the soup. You can taste your soup, and if you need to cook it a bit longer because you prefer it, please go ahead. Now I'm not going to be doing that because I like my soup just like that. And with this, you certainly don't need, because it's very hearty, you don't need, I suppose a meal. Because there is a meal in itself. Well, do you know what I did? I forgot this. So we're just going to drop it in, and I'm just going to mix it in with a spatula. Maybe I'll just give it a quick mix. It'll be Let me just add some thyme now. Just that is enough. And we're just gonna put the blade up to 3 and go. And that will mix the spinach leaves in. We don't need to cook them. That's it. And the residual heat will cook the spinach in a few seconds. So what I should do is put a little bit of spinach in my soup, don't I? There. Sprinkle some coriander on top. And there you have it. Spicy lentil and tomato soup. That's it for today. So
We have to do the question
the question. Yes, of course.
and the USB.
The USB. Thank goodness I have Karen. I don't know what I'd do without her. So little measuring jug. Measures to 700 mils, 750 mils, which is 3 cups, right? So what I'll do first, I'll show you the USB. So you turn your machine on its side, and I don't know if you can see, Karen, here's this little compartment here.
Yep.
So you unscrew that and you plug your USB in there. So if you're worried and you're not sure what to do, please call the office, speak to Alison, and she'll guide you through. It's very, very easy. You can also go to YouTube and have a look at how to do that. So yes, and the question, of course. Now, what is the capacity of this little measuring jug that you're going to be winning, hopefully?
That's it.
Okay, that's it. That's it for tonight. We'll see you next time, 2 weeks time with Vanessa.